Hello everybody, welcome back. We're on day 2 of Switch release. I wanted to put out a video on the Switch 2 Pro controller. We'll do a comparison of the two. I've been waiting to make this video for a long time. I couldn't wait to get my hands on this controller. We'll go over some of the differences between the two, since I have both, and then we'll do a little testing. It's Mario Maker 2, I can't wait to test that D-pad. Alright, so let's do a comparison of the two. We have the original Switch Pro controller and the new Switch 2. The first thing I noticed was the size of the Switch 2 controller it's actually not as wide. It's kind of hard to tell. I don't know if it's coming up on camera, but the width here, it's actually wider. So when you hold the controller, this is how I hold the controller, but like you can see, and yeah, this is what I'm used to. Now this one, my hands feel closer together a little bit. My thumb is just a little bit more arched. I don't know, they're pretty close, but it just feels just a little bit tighter in this area here, like my hands closer together. So then the next thing I noticed on the original controller, I changed these grips out, but on the original it had that like leathery type texture feel, and I hated that. My hands felt all sticky and gooey when I was holding the controller. So I put these on because they're smooth, and that doesn't happen with these. This one is a clear improvement. I like this. I like this better, way better than the texture that they had on the original Pro controller. And of course, you got the back buttons, which I don't even know if I'm going to utilize that much because I play Mario Maker 2. L and R buttons, they're all the same. I feel no difference. The ABXY, there's more of a thud. It's more muted when you hit the button. You can tell. But the controller, it just feels less hollow. This one is definitely like, you can hear it, it sounds hollow. And the buttons jiggle around. Whereas this one, things just feel tighter. And it's just more of a little click. Like you can definitely feel the membrane doing its job, where this one, it's like wiggly. Almost like the buttons don't fit quite right. There's a lot of give. There's less, so the membrane is actually pushing up on the back of the button to hold it in place better. The analog sticks, I know this is what everybody's talking about because the analog sticks are much improved. The first thing I noticed was the shaft. If you can tell, the shaft. The actual shaft of the stick is much thinner. So it gives more of have more range, right? There's more range. If the shaft is thinner, the stick can actually go further. Yeah, there's definitely a wider range here, going left to right. And it feels, again, like the buttons, it feels like a thud. It feels much better than this. When you do that, it just feels like a hollow piece of plastic, making like a drum sound inside the controller. Whereas this one, the ring around here feels like a more solid piece of rubber, and you just get that little thud. It's definitely a huge improvement. And then you have the headphone jack, of course, that the original didn't have. And the actual body, you're not going to be able to get something like this. The aftermarket sleeves, because this is all one piece. You see it goes all the way around. It's all one piece. So if you were to replace this, you'd have to replace the entire back of the controller. Of course, the last and final thing that I've been waiting for, was, of course, checking out the D-pad. Now, the D-pad itself, the button, it seems to be exactly the same size. No difference in the production. Other than the fact that my original probably has the texture rubbed off from playing 12-hour levels in Mario Maker 2. I've rubbed the texture. This one has a little bit more texture to it. And as far as feel, it feels pretty good. Again, you get that hollow sound where you don't really get that as much. It's a muted sound. They must have put some sound dampening stuff inside the controller. Now, I've also done a lot of modifications to this controller's D-pad, and it works great. I finally got it in a good spot where it works very well. I don't get those phantom ground pounds from Mario Maker 2 New Soup. But for this controller to feel similar to that, makes me feel like it could be a pretty good D-pad. The pivot feels good. And this is all, now bear in mind, this is all before I've even tested the controller. I haven't even used this controller yet. I'm just going by feel. Trying to see what the differences are here. And this is welcome too. I don't know if anybody's talked about this, but the plus and minus buttons, they stick out more. It's kind of hard to get it on camera, but the plus and minus on the original, it's almost flush. Whereas on the new Switch 2, it really sticks up. It protrudes out pretty well. And it also has a much better feel, clickier, not clicky, but it's a membrane button, but the travel is much better, much more satisfying click. Whereas this one, there's no travel, and it barely sticks up. Pause buffering, I don't really pause buffer much in Mario Maker 2, but people that do pause buffer, it's going to be a lot better for them. It's going to be easier to feel, to go from the buttons to the plus to pause it. Whereas this one, you kind of gotta like push in to get it. Whereas this one, you're just like, it's right there. I really like that improvement. For me, it still has that issue because I got fat thumbs where if I'm on the B and Y button, my thumb rubs against the analog stick, which can be annoying sometimes. I wish that it was just spaced out. This space right here was just spaced out a little bit more so that I wouldn't touch it. Yeah, the spacing appears to be exactly the same. Feels great in the hand. Like I said, it's gotta adjust a little bit to that a little bit more narrow feel. Where this one feels more like it was for somebody with bigger hands. I have to give it time, see how it feels after a while. I really like it. I hope it works well. We're gonna go test the D-pad and the stick. We're gonna go test this thing out, see how it works. That's the comparison of the two. In a lot of ways, it's like the Switch. It's different, but it's not very different. Minor improvements. I'd like to try to open it up, but I don't see any. There's no visible screws, which means you gotta probably pull the buttons off. I don't want to be the one to experiment with that and break my controller before I've even used it. So we could, if that's something you want to see, we can do a follow-up video in the future, because I want to see what the contacts and everything and the membrane looks like inside here. But I don't know how to take it apart. We'll leave that to somebody else to break their controller. Okay, here we go. First test. With the D-pad. Let's see what we got. We'll do a course that I've played. Alright, we'll do this. Wall Hot Desert was a wall jumping level, but it's New Soup, and I want to test the ground pounds and all that stuff. Make sure I don't do any errant ground pounds. So we're rocking the controller back and forth pretty hard. Wow. I actually have to push down to make it go down. That feels really good. They weren't kidding. The early people got their hands on this early. Said the D-pad was good. They weren't kidding. You push really hard. It's still possible. I push the D-pad down incredibly hard sometimes when I'm stuck on these levels. But it feels really good for out of the box. I had to do all kinds of modifications to this one, the original, just to get it to work, as well as this one is working right now. This feels great. This isn't the most challenging level. Probably could have picked something else. And I'm dead. Alright, let's try something a little harder. Short speed run. Oh god. The controller doesn't feel spectacularly different. It just works. Oh, like, it just does its job. I'm not like, oh my god, this is way better, but it just works. It's better because it just works like it's supposed to. How about that? Like, amazing. The company that made it, the company that basically invented the D-pad can make a good D-pad for once. Oh, fart knocker. Nice. I will say the buttons being quieter, as somebody that makes videos, is a very welcome improvement. I don't have to worry about trying to take out the clicks with the microphone, with my microphone filter. So that's very nice. One thing I did notice, though, beating that level, is I'm not much of a back buttons guy. And when I squeeze the controller hard, like I normally do, when I'm trying to do something hard, you click them. It's a little bit annoying. It might take a little bit to get used to. I wish they put locks. I wish they had locks where you could just lock them in, and then you don't have to worry about it. It throws you off a little bit when you're clicking buttons in the back that aren't doing anything. Yeah, they really should have put locks on these, or even just a way to remove them, so it's just a solid piece. Anyway, that was a good test of the controller. I'll definitely be I'll definitely be using this a lot more. Probably I'll just put the old controller aside, and we'll be doing a lot of Mario Maker playing with this. As long as the D-pad keeps working as it did, seems to be pretty good. I really gotta get into it and do like an expert no skip run and see how it comes out. Because there's a lot of times with a bad D-pad, in the worst moment, you always do a ground pound when you don't want to do it, and it ruins the run. So hopefully this will work better. That's my review and comparison video just wanted to put a quick video out. It's always fun to have new hardware. Also, just a quick tip for the Switch 2. Any Switch people that have Switch 2s out there, something I noticed with the new dock. I played for hours before I noticed this, but there's actually vents underneath the dock, and I put my Switch on a mouse pad, and it was blocking the little nubs that the Switch stands on. The little nubs that the Switch 2 dock stands on aren't quite big enough, and it was actually blocking the holes. The mouse pad was actually, it sunk into the mouse pad enough to where the holes, I don't think it was ventilating properly enough. So you might have to prop it up if you're not on a solid surface. Put some nickels under those just to prop it up just a little bit. Also, get a screen protector if you're going to use it in handheld mode a lot. I watched a video where the guy was scratching the screen up. It's a plastic screen. It'll scratch pretty easily. You want to get like a glass protector over that. But anyway, just want to get that video out. Now I want to get back to playing. So thanks for watching. And let me know if you want to see a teardown video. I can do it. I just want to play with it for a little bit first before I possibly break it. I hope this video was helpful. Put a like on it. If it was, I put videos out like this every once in a while, just to review stuff when there's new hardware. I went through a whole thing where I bought like so many controllers and went through so many different D-pads just for Mario Maker 2 specifically. So I'm kind of a connoisseur of D-pads. Hope the video was helpful. If it was, put a like. And if you're feeling froggy, hit that subscribe button. I do mostly Mario Maker 2 stuff. We can play some other games, especially with the Switch 2. With new games coming out, we'll play some Switch 2 games. But until then, we'll see you on the next one.